What up? What up, my guys? Welcome to another show. My guy over there still playing the violin, man. The intro just gets me hyped up. Gets me hyped up every time, man. I don't know about you guys. Intro is my favorite part of the show. But what's up with you, Shark? We all business here. How you doing, my guy?
Taking a breath, November 30th, 2021, but a hell of a month. We really caught wind this month in terms of win rate and units cultivated. October, I was, a week, 2 weeks of nonsense, but we're in here now. We're going to make the last day of the month ours to dominate. We got two top plays, and then we will go into December. December is for domination. Remember that the last month of the year, we will conquer, and we will be our best selves every single moment. J Money, what's going on this beautiful Tuesday morning?
Man, everything is good, man. We got 4 really good games today. Obviously, there's 5 games, but like I said, I'd say 3 of them are really good games. Let's go to the tippy top. We're going top to the top. You dig what I'm saying? We're going to the streets of Toronto first. You see, my guy has the hat on. You look at it here, Shark. The Raptors have been pretty much owned the Grizzlies the past years, even though the Grizzlies they covered 1 of the past 8, I believe. The Raptors, they just seem to own this team, right? They just beat them with Ja Morant. They did have Gary Trent Jr. in that game. He is questionable here. But regardless, I like the Raptors to stifle this defense. We look at the Grizzlies. They won the first game without Ja Morant. This team will go on the slide without their best player, their highest usage player by far. They could really use Valanciunas right now. But Shark, what you think about this game, okay?
Yeah, first official play here, 7:30 p.m. Scotia Bank Arena. I see you guys up in Toronto. Turn up tonight. We're turning up 1 unit. Toronto -3.5. A lot going on here. As Jay said, Toronto has historically owned Memphis, but I think if we zoom in a little further, it gets even more interesting in terms of the line functionality. Go back to last year. Toronto laid 3 points in Memphis and won the game 128-113. Then they came home and it flipped drastically to Memphis -6.5. And that line move did matter. Memphis covered the game and won the game 109-99, a lot lower scoring, of course, in Tampa last year during a COVID 2020 campaign. Then you come back to this season. We had them correctly last week in Memphis. Almost the same game. I believe it was 126-113. So 128-113, 126-113. So the line functionality matters and the environments really do matter. Now you come back and you get Toronto at -3.5 here, which is the polar opposite of what happened last year. It went from 3 to 6.5. Now it comes all the way towards Toronto. And you look at what Toronto's doing here. Toronto hasn't won a home game since November 29th. They haven't covered a home game since November 27th. They are 1-whatever on the campaign at home against the spread. They're L2, and they've lost 3 or 4 outright. They haven't won a home game in so long. And if you look at their calendar, it's very, very specific. They played 8 out of 9 road games. So they had a really difficult schedule. They had a sandwich spot against the Pistons, which they lost in there. And they lost a bunch of tight games. Final point here, which I think is really interesting. The only home game they've covered this year was against Indiana, 118-1.
My guy is short. He gonna come back. My guy. You just stopped for a second there, Short. You was right when you said 118 to something, my guy. Yeah, stop.
Yeah, I apologize. This is ridiculous. But the only other team that they have beaten on the road the only team they've covered at home against this year, Indiana 118-100. They also beat them on the road. They did beat Memphis and cover on the road. I think it connects with all the boxes. I think they finally get off this ridiculous schneid they're on and win outright and cover a game tonight against Memphis, who's without Ja Morant, did beat Sacramento in the first game without him. More so on Sacramento. We talk about all the time. Qualifier wins. Sacramento was on the back end of a road trip off 2 wins themselves and did what they always do. Outliered themselves from 3-point range. Nothing to do with the quality of Memphis right now. As you can see, 4 minutes with a slight interruption. All boxes check, numbers and narratives. Toronto -3.5, 1 unit. Jay.
Yeah, I love the Raptors here. Like I say, guys, this is something we'll do. I like the Grizzlies squad. I've been figuring them out pretty much all year. They would drop John Morant is the team. You see what I'm saying? So now don't get it twisted. There's the injured player theory, right? There for one game, maybe even a few games, they can turn up without their guy. Everybody step up, right? Next man up. But when you're missing a player as big as John Morant, it will come into play at some point, and it will come. I mean, the Kings aren't a damn good defensive team. It's going to come against a really locked down type of team, and that's the Raptors as well. And like I say, they just beat them the other day in Memphis. That was the last game of their road trip, and they still won. And they had Ja Morant in their game. Now they're going on a road where the Grizzlies aren't as better. They don't have their home crowd behind them, and I just don't think they'll be able to generate enough points to cover this spread tonight. So I'd be looking at Grizzlies team total under, and I think the Raptors going to win this game by double digits as well, my guys. So Raptors here fully aligned with my guy Sharp. Let's go to the streets of Brooklyn here, my guys. This is probably one of no, it's not the best game today. We'll go to that one next. We got the Nets here laying 6.5, open up at 6. It's up to 6.5. The Knicks are starting to do something better, right? They make the decision. We're going to bench Kemba Walker right now. He's not going to play any. We're going to start Alec Burks. Well, he might play off the bench, but they're starting Alec Burks. I said this a while ago. They should have been done this. He's the best point guard pretty much on the team. RJ Barrett is questionable here. I lean Knicks here, right? I do think that the Nets will bust out at some point. We'll bounce back off that embarrassment on national TV, but I wouldn't be laying 6.5 with them here. I think even though the Nets are the better team this year and the Knicks haven't been playing enough defense, I do think they'll turn up for this game here, Shark. So it's nothing for me on this game, but I lean the Knicks plus the points in this game.
Yeah, I wanted to take Brooklyn first quarter, first half. If you go back through this season, 2 specific games off home game 1 loss off a road trip. They lost to Charlotte emphatically, and then they came back against Washington on a weeknight and hammered them in the first quarter and the first half and cruised to a trifecta victory. They did do it more recently in a more specific spot. They came home off a road trip and got hammered by the Warriors, which we had correctly, and then they came back the following night and obliterated Cleveland in a trifecta. You do get the bounce back spot off of a loss to the Suns, which of course is very similar to a loss. But here's the contaminating point. The New York Knicks. The New York Knicks are impossible to predict. They're even more impossible to predict when they change their starting lineup. And you get Alec Burks, who's really not a true 1. He's really a flex 2, but not really a true 1 running the point. And you see what they did against Atlanta. They did cover the first quarter as a significant dog. They actually played a good third quarter, which changed the game. Seems like Tibbs made a great adjustment here to a starting roster that was really plagued by Kemba Walker's usage rate and just lack of flow at this point in his career. The Knicks are very hard to predict. The Knicks are in a triple revenge game. They did lose all 3 last year. But again, the dispersion is very difficult. Brooklyn did not cover either game at home last year. They were minus 8.5 and won 117-112. They were minus 6 and won 114-112. But we always say this. With the Knicks, the line doesn't seem to matter. The Knicks will play up to an opponent when they want to because they will bring bigger effort than you. And I think in this campaign right now, it's still early season. Brooklyn's effort has been scattered. And the final point, which is very unfortunate, those first quarter, first half environments, the one against Washington and Cleveland, which they did blow them out, were both 3rd and 4 home back-to-back final legs, which speaks to a specific first quarter motivation for a group that says, listen, we don't have legs tonight. We need to come out and throttle this team and take their life in the first quarter. Not the case tonight. Both teams are on full rest, primetime matchup, TNT. Really anything could happen here in the first quarter or first half. Final point, the line is speaking to Brooklyn. When you win by 2 points on a 6 and they bring it right back to 6, it's kind of like playoff series stuff where they reset the average where it should be long term. They're telling you Brooklyn should win this game by 6 to 8. It's razor sharp. Turn your TV on, enjoy it. Bet the Raptors and stay away from this game.
Yeah, you made some good points there, Scott. This is a Scott Foster special. He is 11-4 for the home team against the spread. So, I mean, it could be something there, but not really. But you made some really good points about the Nets early. You know, I like my first quarter, first half spots. You're right. Second home game. They've been at the house stern on this loss. I could definitely see them coming out hot here. And the Alec Burks coming in, I know he's not necessarily a true point guard, but I like him at the guard more because he's more of a pass first guy and he can also score. Alec Burks used to play on the Warriors as well. So I've been knowing about this guy for a while. He's a baller. He's just one of those underrated type of guys. But glad to see him starting on the team. Let's get to the rest of these games, my guys. Let's go to Warriors and Suns, right? The game of the night here. Not much for me to say here. Two of the best defensive teams in the league. I think this will be a rock fight type of game. I'd be looking towards the under here, guys. You know I'm not a total playing guy, but I did put something on the under 221.5 here. I think it'll be a defensive type game here from both teams. What you think in this one, Sharp?
Well, the game of the year, 10 p.m., Footprint Center. We're going road locker room, Golden State Warriors, plus 2.5 official. I say one thing, dub 16. That will end tonight. And you look at the reasoning why. The Golden State Warriors are purely a better unit than Phoenix this year. Look at Phoenix's dub 16, highly contaminated. They've beaten a lot of teams with injuries. They cleaned up Dallas twice without Luka. They beat the Nuggets without Jokic. They barely covered against the Hawks. They should have lost that game. They backdoored the hell out of the Hawks. They've beaten the Rockets, the Pelicans. And I bring you back to their last loss, I believe, was against the Sacramento Kings at home, 110-107. They had prior loss to the Nuggets in the opener, 110-98. And you really look at what the Dubs are capable of doing in this type of functionality environment. I draw you directly back to what they did at Brooklyn on a plus 3.5 spot going back a week or two ago, which we had correctly. The Dubs have been an ATS juggernaut. They are also on an elongated winning streak themselves. Their only losses on the campaign came in a real funky tank backdoor spot to Memphis at home and a road trip opener at Charlotte, which was a massive shooting outlier look-ahead game. This is just where the Dubs will turn up. You also get a great line environment, and it has mattered with these teams going back to last year. Early season last year, of course, the Dubs were in shambles. Phoenix -2, home blowout, came up to 13 with different rosters. But again, the average tells a story. Another blowout. Then it came down to 4.5, where it should have stuck at 8, 8.5, 9 on the road. Dubs won outright, 122-115, which we had correctly in the spring. For those of you who went back with us to last year, we appreciate you immensely. But you really come to the center here. The line is all over the Dubs. The winning streak has to end. The Phoenix Suns have been hovering against the loss for a period of time now. I think it comes tonight. I think it comes with potential authority. Official take, plus 2.5, Golden State Warriors.
I like it, my guy. Couldn't talk you off here. A little sneaky thing with this game. These two teams do play again on December 3rd. So the Warriors won't have another game until the end. So I'll be watching this game, see what's up, and definitely have another nice angle for you guys in the next game here. So definitely whoever loses probably hopping on in the next game. Couldn't talk you off Warriors, but I like the under. I like the unders to play in this game, man. One more game we're going to talk about this Lakers versus Kings here. And if we have some other time, we'll talk a few minutes about Pistons versus Blazers. But Lakers versus Kings, right? Kings just beat them straight up in triple overtime. So the Lakers have some revenge here. The line's going down. The Kings still have, I think Holmes still banged. Holmes will play, but Harrison Barnes still banged up here. What do you think? The Lakers starting to figure it out. Russell Westbrook, LeBron, AD. Do you believe in them today in a revenge game on the road?
No. I think the lean here would be the Kings. And I think a really specific environment you find here is the Kings just beat Portland at home. That was a revenge game for Portland. Sacramento had beaten Portland in the division, I believe, or outside. I don't know the divisions that well. But anyway, they had beaten them on the road in the opener. And Portland came in on the same exact line gap, too. It came down 3 points from the previous one, and they lost again. And again, I think if you look at the Lakers here, the Lakers don't really have a big road sample. They've only played 4 or 5 road games, I believe. They've been unimpressive on the road, to say the least. And I think the Kings coming in here need to catch wind. The Kings have been deceiving all year. The Kings really, really cratered against the East, Raptors, and 1 or 2 other games. I think bottoming out really with a backdoor against the Sixers, which burned me personally and us who tail. But I think they've caught some wind. I think Alvin Gentry, obviously, is a reasonable adjustment. They did win 2 out of 3. They tanked the back end of a road trip to a Memphis team who was juiced up. And they come home here. And it really just strikes me as the same thing they did against Portland at home. Again, off a road win, come back, same line move against 3 points. I think Sacramento probably wins this game by 3 or 4 points. I think it'll be close, but I do think they win this game outright.
Gotcha. Yeah. Now, if it's me, I'd be looking for Lakers to get some revenge. I've been watching this team lately. Obviously, they're the worst covering team in the league, but and my guy Friday knows this, we look to stay away from the Lakers the first 20 games. Their first 20 games is up. They're starting to figure things out. I think they will get some revenge from a not so good defensive team tonight. So the Lakers' offense isn't that good, but it's starting to get better. The Kings don't have enough lockdown defense, in my opinion, to stop the Lakers, to stop their bigs, in my opinion, as well. So you fire Luke Walton. Now you got Alvin Gentry, who's another lame duck. So even though you got a new coach over there, he's not that type of guy, strong voice like that. The guy is very soft spoken, almost like a Silas part 2, if you ask me. So I'm not a big fan of firing Walton, bring in Gentry. You see what he did in New Orleans. That's a whole nother conversation. Beyond coaching, I think the Lakers get some quick revenge here. That didn't happen too long ago. It lost triple overtime game at the house to the Kings. They will come in here and smack these boys up. Like I want to take the Lakers here. I don't think that the Kings will turn up. It's a little bit different team. They're missing Harrison Barnes. He's one of their better players. Holmes banged up. I think the Kings get smacked up today, man. It's just me though. If you have anything, Pistons versus Blazers, I'm not betting this game.
Tough spot. Obviously, Blazers come in here after getting shelled last night in Utah. The last time they did this, they got shelled in Denver, and they came home and they covered against Toronto. And I've said this a few times. I actually said it on my Sharky Waters Nation on Twitter last week when we were off. But Portland at home against the East has been right on the number almost every single game. Philly, Toronto, Indiana, Chicago, all results within 1 or 2 buckets of the spread. I mean, really tight stuff. And I think when you look at this 9.5, it's really tight. Last year, Portland laid 7.5 points on the road and beat them up by about 20. And they came home and they laid 11.5 and they beat them by 20 again. So this is coming against it. Again, when you lay 11.5, you win by 20, comes down to 9.5. They're kind of telling you the story that you seem to see with the Pistons almost every game this year. They just hover right around the number, and the back door is wide open. And I think when you really look at Portland coming home here, you ask yourself, are they going to continue to cover by 1.5 points against the East? Maybe, maybe not. But this is definitely an incredibly sharp line and difficult to cap.
Yeah, don't look now, but the Pistons are 4-1 against the spread last 5 games, even though they're on a L6. They've lost 6 straight games. They're not going to win versus the Suns in their last game of the road trip. So this is their best chance to get a win on the road. Obviously, the Blazers are a different team at the house. Powell is banged up with a quad. McCollum also played 38 minutes last night in the blowout. So I'm not saying that he will rest, but possibly Powell could come back and then they choose. Against the Pistons, I could see the Blazers choosing to rest at least one of their guys. Pistons are nothing for me, but I'm staying away from that one. Start break them off with the officials so we get out of here.
Yeah, 2 official plays. Toronto minus 3.5. Went through it before in detail. Numerous angles, both numerical and psychological analysis of the teams and their schedule for this Toronto take. And we're taking the Warriors tonight plus 2.5 to end the winning streak. Dub 16, I think, turns to L1 tonight. Dub 7 to Dub 8. I believe it. I love it. I think we're going to dominate it and respect it. Appreciate you guys in the chat immensely. Drop your plays, your chats. Let's build this channel. There are millions of people that love NBA basketball that would love to interact with you guys in the chat and listen to us talk about all the numbers and narratives and give you our top looks every day. Remember, we're still...
My guy just buffering there real quick. It's all good, man. What he's saying is it's millions of people that's trying to watch this on YouTube, guys. So if you can, just like, subscribe, share it if you can on Twitter. We try to get as many interaction as possible. So my guy was trying to say Raptors for me today, man. I'm taking the Raptors, and I like those Warriors and Suns under, to be honest with you. Defensive type game. I can see this like a finals type game. No lie. Defense on both sides of the floor. I think points would be hard to come by. Wouldn't be surprised if this one did get past 210, my guys. Warriors, Suns under, and I like the Raptors as well. Lean Pistons. Heavy lean to the Lakers tonight, and that's a good lean by my guy Shark there with the Nets early. I would lean Nets early and Knicks full game. That's just me, though. We're just here to try to help you guys out, make some money, let you know some betting insight, everything on our betting knowledge, right? So hit the like button if you can, subscribe, leave some comments, let us know what you're betting. You got some college basketball players, let me know, man. I'm trying to cash too, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hit the like button. Go and follow my guy as well on Twitter at Sharks and Sports. You can follow me as well at JMoneyIsMoney. We out.